Hey everybody, I want to talk to you about recording your spoken word poetry project videos. So before we actually take a look at how to record and what apps to use and all of that, what I want to do first is go over just a couple tips, tricks, and expectations. So one of the first things I want to note is that yes, you can totally read your poem. You don't have to have it memorized. So you can either print it out or write it out, or you can have it on the screen in front of you while you're recording. That is fine. If it's printed or written out though, first tip or trick, please don't read your poem like this. This is actually pretty distracting and it defeats the purpose of recording in the first place. So part of the reason that we're doing a video recording is because even when we're not really thinking about it, our faces are sort of emotive. And since spoken word poetry is meant to have some sort of feeling associated with it, some sort of emotion generally, I want to be able to see your face. That is part of this presentation because it's going to tell us a little bit about how you feel about the subject matter. So that's why that's there. Okay, cool. So don't cover your face. Going off of that, I'm going to ask that you please either look directly at the camera, like I'm doing now, or if you're not totally comfortable with that, and I get it, you can look a little bit off to the side like this, right? You can present your poem as if you're talking to somebody else in this general direction without looking directly at the camera. What I don't want you to do is to turn yourself sideways, because that can mess with audio a little bit, but it also doesn't fully allow us to see what kind of emotions or what kind of facial features are there. And then of course, please don't give your poem this way, because if you don't project when you're giving your poem this way, there is going to be no way for me to hear you. It will muffle your voice a lot. All right. So we know that we should be facing the camera, at least close to facing the camera, when we give our poem. And we know that we can read it. And reading it is fine. Reading it is great. Another thing I would like for you to avoid is reading in a monotone voice. Try to add a little bit more excitement than this. So when we record or when we present things in front of people, sometimes we slow ourselves down to make sure we don't make a mistake. I get that. And in fact, it's not a problem for you to slow yourself down. In some ways, it's better to slow yourself down than to go so fast that you're hard to understand. But I also want to make sure that you are adding some sort of emotion or intonation to your voice. If you remember Brandon Leake, when he was upset in his poem, he looked and sounded upset. He looked and sounded mad at points. He looked and sounded happy at points. Now, you don't need to be quite as emotive as he is. You're not going to get graded down for being less emotive than that. But I want to see a little bit of something. Broadcast how you feel about the subject of your poem as you're reading your poem. Do the best you can with that. Because I realize it's a little bit different to present to a camera instead of a room full of people or a whole bunch of people. But get what emotion you can in there as you read. Okay, cool. Let's talk about how we actually upload everything and get it into Canvas. So let me minimize myself over in the corner and walk us through the different steps you can take, because there is more than one step. So let's take a look at our Canvas page, and I'm just going to go over here to my to-do list where it says spoken word video and click on that. Now once you click on that, you're going to see the basic instructions. Just a reminder, if you are recording on your phone or on your computer or laptop and then uploading the file, it's going to be a lot like uploading a PDF, but it is going to take a little bit longer. So you'll find the file on your computer, phone, whatever, and then you'll upload it to that spot but it might take a couple minutes to process, so you're going to have to be ready to give it time. I'm going to click Submit Assignment, so you can see right here, this should look normal. This is something that we're already used to. In a minute, I'll show you how you can try to track down that file if you're not used to recording things on your computer, because you might get your recording lost in the file system, but it shouldn't be too hard to find, so don't worry. The other option that you have is to go to the Media tab or the Studio tab. I just prefer the Media tab personally. And there's going to be an option under both of those to record or upload media. When you click that, you should see this window pop up, and you should also see this permission thing pop up, depending on the security settings of your device. So I'm going to say allow, and right now I've only allowed the microphone. So all you're seeing is the microphone meter moving up and down when I talk. This is a good sign. This means that the computer can hear me. If you have a device with no camera, this is what you'll see. Great. If you have a device with a camera, it will probably default to showing that camera. So what you're going to do here, if it doesn't default to that, is you're going to click Webcam and grab whatever camera you have attached to your device. Say allow for that. Aha! And now you should see your video as well as that blue bar going back and forth across the screen when you talk. If you are seeing both of those things, you're ready to hit record and start doing what you can and delivering your poem. While we're in this moment, I want to remind you, yes, you can re-record. And yes, if there's an interruption like your dog barking or one of your parents yelling for you to come to dinner or something like that, you should totally re-record. You absolutely should. If you watch your poem and you're really not satisfied and want to do it again, yes, I support that. I will tell you right now though, if you spend too much time re-recording over and over and over and over, you're not going to be happy because at some point you're going to find some sort of error with every recording. So as long as you're delivering your poem fully and not making any big mistakes, then I would say go ahead and keep that one and submit it. This doesn't have to be perfect. It can be as perfect as you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be like absolute perfection. So record yourself as much as you feel like you need to, but you don't have to record over and over again. I'll be honest with you, I am on my 4th recording right now because I kept making mistakes along the way, including the first time around I forgot to give my microphone access, so I made it through the whole video and there was no sound. So plan for that. Don't put this off till the last minute, but also don't spend like 3 hours coming up with the perfect recording. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before I end the video is how to record if you're going to be pre-recording on your device instead of using this Media or Studio tab to record within Canvas. So what you'll need to do is minimize whatever window you're in and go to the Start menu and start from there. Most computers have some sort of camera app. They have some sort of camera app. There we go. I have mine already set to video. Yours might be set to just standard photo. So you'll need to switch that. But other than that, once you open up the camera app, you're good to go. Now I'm going to be honest, it has been a while since I've used a MacBook and I don't have a Chromebook. But I'm willing to bet they have an app just like this there too. They just may call it something different. So let me close this and show you where you'd go if you were doing audio only. If you don't have a webcam but you want to record on your device, on a Windows PC like this, you want to scroll all the way down to V and you'll see Voice Recorder. This was my test recording from earlier to make sure it all worked. And this microphone button is how I start a new recording clip. Just like with the camera, I bet that this is somewhere on your Chromebook and somewhere on your MacBook. I just don't know exactly where. if you're trying to figure out where to find the right app or where to find the file once you've finished recording it and you can't, then set up a Zoom meeting with me tomorrow afternoon or Friday afternoon. I'm happy to have you share your screen and try to walk through it together and troubleshoot and find what we need to upload. Okay, so we've got all that. The last step is, once you've recorded, where do you find the file? If you don't know where to look, then your best bet is to go into where you normally save most of your stuff. I keep mine in the cloud on OneDrive. Some people just save it straight to their computer under this PC. But go to where you normally would save all your stuff and search it. And in this instance, I'm going to search recording because I just used the generic name of recording for my test. And you can see that it pops up right at the top. So there's the file. But then there's also a folder that says sound recordings. If I click on that folder, if I click on that folder, there we go. This is where all my voice recorder files go. If I had typed in video, I could find videos that I've recorded because there'll be a whole folder separated and created for that. You can find the same things on your Chromebook and on your MacBook. It just might take a little bit of messing around, or you can go straight to Google and Google how to find the right file there. Okay, I think that I've covered all the basics that you need. If you have questions, ask me. That's what I'm here for, is to help you answer those questions and help you get to where you can be successful submitting the assignment. Please feel free to rewatch, rewind, and pause this in order to follow the process and make sure you're going through the right steps. Until I see you in class again, though, Knowlton